Hello everyone, I'm Anas Al-Ubaidi, and the topic or the title for this lecture or session is Data, Privacy and Confidentiality in Clinical Trials, which is part of the chapter that is about ensuring participant safety and ethical integrity. And of course, this lecture or session is part of the Advanced ICH Good Clinical Practice Certification course program by CCRPS. Introduction. In clinical trials, the integrity and security of participant data are of paramount importance. The confidentiality and privacy of clinical trial participants are not only ethical imperatives, but also legal requirements under various international regulations. Data privacy in clinical trials refers to the handling of personal and sensitive participant information, while confidentiality ensures that such data is protected from unauthorized access, disclosure, or misuse. Key points. We'll start with the importance of data privacy and confidentiality. Ethical obligation protecting participant privacy is fundamental to maintaining trust in clinical research and upholding ethical standards. Legal requirement multiple laws and regulations such as the GDPR General Data Protection Regulation in European Union, HIPAA in the USA, and ICH GCP guidelines, which is globally, mandate strict confidentiality and data protection measures. Regulatory compliance, non-compliance with data privacy regulations can lead to legal penalties, loss of reputation, and invalidation of research results. And here is a diagram on ensuring trust and compliance in data privacy and protection. Another key point here, data privacy regulations and laws. GDPR, which is short for General Data Protection Regulation, is a European Union regulation that sets guidelines for the collection, processing, and storage of personal data. It emphasizes the participants' rights to be informed, their right to consent, and their right to access, rectify, and delete their data. Example, under GDPR, a clinical trial participant must provide explicit consent before their data is collected and processed with clear information on how their data will be used. HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, governs the privacy and security of health information in the United States. In USA, ensures that sensitive patient information is kept confidential and secure. Example, under HIPAA, clinical trial researchers are required to obtain consent from participants before sharing their health data with others outside the research team. ICH GCP guidelines, the International Council for Harmonization ICH Good Clinical Practice GCP guidelines, set the international standard for ethical clinical trials, including the handling of participant data. Example, according to ICH GCP, participant data must be stored in a way that ensures its confidentiality and can only be accessed by authorized personnel. And here is a diagram on ensuring data privacy in clinical trials. Another key point, key principles of data privacy and confidentiality in clinical trials. Data minimization. Only the minimum amount of data is necessary for the study should be collected. Example, if a trial only requires the participant's age and medical history to assess eligibility, no other personal information should be collected. Anonymizing and pseudonymizing participant data should be anonymized or pseudonymized to ensure that it cannot be directly linked to an individual without additional information. Example, in a study, participant's name is replaced with a unique code, pseudonymized, so their identity is not directly exposed during data analysis. So kind of unique code, which is subject number, for instance. Subject number. Usually it is, especially clinical research in USA. Informed consent. Participants must give explicit informed consent for their data to be collected, processed, and used in the trial. Example, a clinical trial consent form should include a clear section explaining how personal data will be used, stored, and shared. Access control. Strict protocols should be in place to ensure that only authorized personnel can access sensitive data. Example, research staff should be assigned Specific access rights based on their role, ensuring that only relevant personnel can access sensitive participant data. Data security. Implement robust physical, technical, and administrative safeguards to protect participant data from unauthorized access, alteration, or loss. Example, encrypted digital files, password protected databases, and secure cloud storage are all essential tools for protecting trial data. And here is a diagram on ensuring data privacy and confidentiality in clinical trials. Another key point here, types of data collected in clinical trials. Personal identifiable information, PII, includes participants' name, address, date of birth, and other direct identifiers. Example, a clinical trial participant's personal details, such as their name and phone number, are considered PII, personal identifiable information. Health-related information, data concerning a participant's medical history, treatment records, and health outcomes. Example, medical test results, medication history, and health questionnaires are health-related information collected during trials. Sensitive data, data related to the participant's health status, including genetic data, mental health status, and other sensitive details. Example, information about the participant's HIV status, genetic predispositions, or mental health diagnoses is considered sensitive data and requires additional protection. And here is a diagram on types of personal data. Another key point here, data sharing and transfer. Internal sharing, sharing data within the research team for analysis or decision-making purposes must be done securely with access limited to authorized individuals. Example, a principal investigator may share trial data with statisticians for analysis, but only authorized personnel should be involved. External sharing, sharing data with third parties, including regulatory authorities or other research institutions, should be done under strict confidentiality agreements and only after obtaining necessary consent from participants or subjects. Example, data shared with the FDA or other regulatory bodies during a clinical trial must be de-identified to ensure privacy. International data transfer. Transferring data across borders requires compliance with data protection regulations of both the sending and receiving countries. Example, if a clinical trial is conducted in EU, European Union, and the data is transferred to the USA, the transfer must comply with both the GDPR and HIPAA. Role of Data Protection Officer, DPO. A data protection officer is responsible for ensuring compliance with data protection laws within a clinical trial. Example, the DPO ensures that participant consent is obtained, data is securely stored, and breaches are reported according to legal requirements. Summary tables. Here we have table on key principles of data privacy and confidentiality, table on types of data in clinical trials, table on data security measures, table on data sharing and transfer, table on role of data protection officer, DPO. Next, we have MCQs or multiple choice questions in order to revise what we have covered through this lecture. Question 1. Which of the following is a key principle of data privacy in clinical trials? And the most appropriate answer would be C, data minimization and only collecting necessary data, as data privacy principles emphasize collecting only the minimum necessary data. Question 2. What is the purpose of anonymizing participant data in clinical trials? Would be the best answer B, to ensure that the data cannot be traced back to an individual, as anonymizing removes personal identifiers to protect participant privacy. Question 3. Which of the following laws is specifically designed to protect patient health information in the United States and USA? Would be HIPAA, of course, so the answer is B, as HIPAA regulates the privacy and security of patient health information in the USA. Question 4. Who is responsible for ensuring data privacy compliance in clinical trials? We know it's DPO, Data Protection Officer, so the answer is B, as the DPO ensures compliance with data privacy laws and guidelines. Question 5. Which of the following is a security measure used to protect clinical trial data? Would be C, the most appropriate answer, using encryption to secure digital data, as encryption protects sensitive data by making it unreadable without the proper key. And here we come to end of this lecture. Thank you very much and goodbye.